What up, Cancers? It's Jesse with 44 Astro with an 8-8 Lionsgate tarot reading, general tarot reading for the sign of Cancer. Whatever that falls in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, whether you have a stellium in Cancer, whether you have a planet in Cancer with tons of aspects on it, however Cancer is dominant in your chart, moon conjunct your ascendant with a bunch of aspects on it. There's all kinds of ways Cancer can be prevalent in your chart. Maybe you just have the moon has the, in my case, the moon, I have a ton of aspects on it, but I don't really have anything attached to Cancer, so I can't really say I have Cancer strong on my chart. But if you have the moon with a bunch of aspects on it, and then any of those are touching Cancer, especially if multi-planets are touching Cancer, it may be prominent in your chart. And also, a lot of that will depend on your ascendant. But either way, Cancer can be strong in your chart without you having it as your sun, moon, or ascendant. But the only way to know that is to know your natal chart well. And hopefully I'll eventually get to the point where I build the channel up to where I can start reading people's natal charts for them. Giving information, telling them what's dominant in their chart, what patterns, things like this. But I need a lot more subscribers before I can do that. We're not even close. We're at like 50, which I'm grateful for all 50. Don't get me wrong. All of you that have subbed, thank you so much. And all that haven't, what are you waiting for? No, I'm playing. Do what you want. But we are trying, right here is where we want to start. And this is going to be a general reading. Tarot, starting 8/8 through August. This is just going to be a thought spread, and I'm going to clarify with the thought deck. The question, or the current situation, looks all right. The advice looks like new love or a new perspective on love. I'll show what's on the bottom, though. I don't put a lot of credence into it. It's like an offer that you can't see or that you refuse to see. Could be around love, for sure. But the question looks a bit different. This looks like, the current situation could be you're looking for a specific message about money. Could be a new way of making money. Could be it's a question about being in the spotlight, being famous or something like that. Could be like divine guidance or balance. Trying to balance, money and fame. You could be trying to balance money and fame. It could be that you're molding those two together. You're trying to get money and fame together, alchemically. That could be what the question's about, money and fame. Wanting it to be the case. It could just be you're trying to shine a light on everything. Try to shine a light on the way that you make money. Trying to dissect it more. Trying to figure out what's the best ways to make money. Those types of things. Current path that you're on. You have the Five of Cups. This is a lot of confusion here. Five of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Cups. So this looks like kind of disappointment and confusion, and like something's being hidden from you, or like you can't see it. Like maybe you've been disappointed. Maybe you don't feel like you're as famous or as wealthy as you want to be. You don't feel like things are flowing in that way. Doesn't mean that they aren't. It just means that you feel like they aren't. Like I said, it's something that you can't see. This could be secrets for sure. This could be your own intuition. It looks like it's secrets. Or it's like what you're looking for got lost in like all this. Like maybe you're focusing on the wrong aspects of things. Maybe you're focusing on the negative instead of the positive. You're focusing on the cups that have spilled instead of the ones that are standing up behind you. Or you're focusing on too many cups. This definitely could be something with love, even though the main question doesn't seem to be about that. I think you need to trust your intuition in this situation. We're going to get some clarifiers on it. And if you can trust your intuition and you kind of get away from this. And Cancers are very intuitive signs. All water signs are. I mean, many signs can be intuitive. I mean, most of us have some sort of water in there. But Cancer is definitely intuitive. So is Pisces, so is Scorpio. Yeah, I think you need to trust your intuition. Don't focus so much on the negative or all these other confusing cups. We'll get some clarifiers on it, though, see what that is. The other path that you're on, or that you can choose to be on, this is saying go inside. This is saying, like, get the high ground, or be ready for whatever arguments or whatever battles. Just be ready for them, right? Don't be disappointed. Don't be overcome by grief, you know? Go inside, meditate, breathe, think about the problems at hand, or think about whatever the situation is, and be ready. Be ready to kick the butt of the competition. And if you do that, you're going to have more than enough. You're going to have balance, and you're going to have more than enough. You're going to understand the give and take of any situation much better. Because over here, it just looks like you're emotionally torturing yourself. Like some situation. It could be, like I said, it could be about money and fame. Like being discovered, something like that. It's like you're looking like for a balance between that. Or a balance between like the attention that you get and like the amount of money that you have. Trying to find some kind of balance, or like within a new way to make money. You're trying to find a new way to make money. You know, the question is about finding a new way to make money that makes you feel like this, or that puts you in the spotlight, like fame, how to be discovered, that kind of thing. And you know, you're praying for it. You're asking heavens above, you know, for whatever this is. And maybe, you know, each time you don't get it, you know, maybe you're beating yourself up. Which is what anybody, I'd say anybody, but most people would do. And maybe that's the test, right? The test is if you can stop beating yourself up when you get these disappointments. Because, I mean, that's all the universe tries to do. It isn't just trying to make us fail. It's trying to get us ready for what we want. It's trying to see if you're ready, right? Can you handle that kind of spotlight? Because if you get upset real easily, I mean, you're showing that maybe you are ready for that spotlight. But if you can go within, focus on the situation, and just face those whenever the problems come, face them, defeat them. Find that balance, the balance in the give and the take. And my guess is if you're trying to stand out or be discovered in the spotlight, or trying to find something fulfilling, you're going to have to be ready for that kind of thing. Because if you're in the spotlight, you're going to have all kinds of criticism. You're going to have to be ready to fight. It could be that it's like something public. You're trying to do something public. Like running for office of something even. Trying to be a boss of a business. Create a business even. Something like that. Yeah, you need to, that's your choices. You can choose to be upset about it and let it lead you to confusion. And this side says the only way to get through that's intuition. Trey, I trust your intuition. Or you can go over here, be calm, be introspective, dissect the situations, and be ready. Come out with a readied argument, or a readied approach or strategy to defeat whatever's in front of you, and then it'll lead you to having enough. You know what I mean? Or to balance everything. This is the advice, and this could be in a relationship because, you know, bam, you got 2 3s here with the Ace of Cups. All right, you got 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords, Ace of Cups, and there's a lot of cups in this reading. So if this is a relationship, and it could be maybe you feel like you're not being seen in your relationship the way that you want, okay, and maybe you feel like that because you don't feel like you make enough money, or because money's an issue within the relationship, and that's what the question's about. Maybe money's causing issues, or you're trying to find a balance in your relationship of like having to go make money, but also being able to be seen in your relationship at home with your wife or your husband. And because you're always out having to make money, you know, you're having a hard time finding the balance between that, and it's leaving you to be upset, right? And worrying about things, you know, it makes you upset and worried about your significant other, or even your family or children, anything like that. And this advice is saying that, you know, it's breaking your heart. Maybe it's saying that it's time for a new relationship. Maybe this relationship's toxic to you. Could be that, because this would scream new love right here. Could be that you meet them at a social gathering of some sort, for sure. And this could be after the heartbreak, right? And the advice, you know, and maybe the advice is saying don't be heartbroken. You know, spend more time at home with your family, right? Spend some time, go out and do things together, you know. let your cup overflow. Don't be so grinded to the grind. And we're always in the grind. I know all about that. I don't have kids or anything. I have a lot of fuzzy animals, but I don't have any kids. I have a wife, but I don't have kids. But I do make sure I have time to spend time with my wife, absolutely. And I make sure I connect with her every single day, and that we always at some point go do something together, weekly, multiple times if we can. Even though we stay at home together, we connect there too, but we also want to go out and do things, and have fun with each other, and remind each other why we love each other and why we do the things that we do and why we've been together for 21 years. Those kind of things. And that's another thing, right? I know a lot of tarot readers like to give advice, and they like to give relationship advice. I would really ask the question, and not to knock anybody, because there's some great tarot readers out there. A lot of these individuals are single or have had horrible relationships, because I've heard them talk about them. And it's like, why are you giving people relationship advice? And, maybe it's because they learn, from some of the negative aspects. But, I've had negative aspects in mine, but I've managed to keep mine going for a very, very, very long time. And I don't think that necessarily makes me any more qualified. But like I said, I've been in a successful relationship for 21 years. So I understand the ins and outs very, very, very well. At least if you're trying to have long-term love and sticking with this in a situation. Now, if you're into short-term things, maybe that's the advice you want to take. And I'm not saying don't take their advice, because a lot of times it is good advice. It just makes me wonder. It just seems very... But a lot of things in this world are paradoxical. And we're in a binary world where everything's learned through comparison and opposites. That's how we learn. That's how we understand what anything is. It's because of its opposite. It makes me wonder about the whole relationship advice. But I'm giving relationship advice, right? But again, I'm giving from experience, right? I know I look young, but I'm 38 in November. Been with my wife for 21 years since we were teenagers. So we've grown up together, been through a lot of it. So the things I'm talking about, I've lived and I've done, and I do regularly. And we have a successful relationship because of that. So the things I'm saying, I really truly believe. And not only do I believe, I do them. I'm speaking from things that I do and experience. Not just, you should do this, you should do that. My relationships failed a bunch of times, but you should do this. I'm not doing that. I'm speaking from actual experience. So if the relationship seems toxic, or that, you don't feel seen in your relationship, this is saying maybe it's time to go and that you're going to meet a new love. If you're single, it could be that you need to quit being so hard on yourself. You need to stop with the heartbreak. Go out and have some fun, and don't just focus on work all the time and trying to make a living. And go find that love. Find that new emotional connection or attachment. That new beginning. Or if you're married and it's not a toxic relationship and you definitely don't want to leave your significant other, and you don't feel seen because you're always out grinding work and you're trying to find a balance between that, take some time. You're going to have to take some time. It's healthy. Or at least communicate it, right? That way you can try to solve it together. Because a lot of times the humdrum of life, the world we live in, the life we live, most of us, is just so busy and going. You have to do, keep, especially if you have kids, is even more you got to keep going and doing. And, it can be easy to lose that balance, between feeling seen or feeling happy and then the money grind. So... But you can definitely do it. And the outcome is the outcome's got the moon in it, right? This is some screams Piscean energy. But you got the Queen of Cups with the moon and the Page of Wands. So this could be, water sign individual for sure. It could be you for sure. Right? Cancer. The moon, even though the moon is what rules your sign in this deck, the moon is a Pisces card, and I can explain why. In Pisces, so the planet Neptune is associated with no boundaries, right? The three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, have to do with the collective of everyone. That's what they influence. They move very slowly around the sun. I think Uranus is 84 years. For Pluto, it's 200 and... I can't remember. I read it. I just read it yesterday. I'll look it up again. It's 200 some years. Okay, we're not going to see its full revolution in our lifetime, and it even gets a closer orbit sometimes because it's super elliptical. The Neptune's very long too. It's 90 years or something. I can't remember. I have to read it again. So they affect generations. Their epoch of time, is so slow, so it affects. It's considered to be an effect of the collective. As to where Saturn on in is individual, but in order for those collective traits to show up in a population or in humanity, it does have to show itself in the individual. So they do play a role. So with Pisces, and that sign specifically, it's about being boundless. It's about everything is one. That's why Neptune is the end, right? It's in the Kabbalah, it's on the very top. with when it comes to like Shiva, which is in the Hindu religion, if they're in that sect of Hindu religion, they talk about the 11 realms of the realities, and those are the material ones. And then the last one, which is Shiva, which is Shiva associated with, is when it's non-material, it's beyond material. The other 11 are associated with Devi, but I'm not going to get into all that. But that's material worship. But we are in a natural material world, and we do need to respect and understand that. But then you get above it, when we always talk about spirituality being above it, we're talking about that 12th plane. But that's why Shiva has a moon and a trident. The trident, what is the symbol of Neptune? It's a trident. What is the Pisces has the moon, right? In the tarot, it's the symbol of the moon. Okay, so that's what that represents, being beyond the material. So sadly, Pisces, because they don't really have boundlessness, they're trying to understand how it's all collectively together. They can't really figure out their identity as an individual within a group, right? There's a lot of confusion there. That's why that card's associated with confusion and Pisces. It's because they don't understand boundaries. They want to mold into anything. So if they get, like a Pisces gets into a relationship, if they're heavy Pisces, a lot of times they're basically just give themselves up to the relationship because they don't understand how to have their individual existence in it. They merge into it. And a lot of people take advantage of them because of that. And it's really crappy, right? Pisces are sweet. Heavy Pisces people are always very sweet and giving and willing to break their back to help others. But because of that, because they're trying to merge, they don't understand the boundaries aspects, people will walk all over that. And it's really crappy. So that's why this sign isn't associated with Cancer, it's associated with Pisces. So that's the explanation of it. That's why it also is confusion or not knowing something. It's really not knowing your place within you're not knowing your individual place within the structure. And that's what Neptune is. It's everything is one, being oneness. That's why it's also psychicness and rising above material realms, so spirituality. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of depth to it, right? And it's, I mean, I could go deeper on it, but I'm wasting time on the tarot reading. But anyway, this is basically saying, if you're not feeling seen in your relationship or not being even seen by someone you're attracting, anything like that, you got to understand your role in it, right? That's what the moon's saying, your individuality. You got to find your passion within it, and you got to present that forward. You find your role. It's easier said than done when you have that. It's like cosmic collectiveness, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're all shooting for, right? That's why Pisces is the end of the zodiac, the 12th sign. And Cancer is also associated with the moon. Scorpio is not really associated with the moon, but it's in the water signs. But I'm just saying that Pisces and Cancer specifically are very sweet, caring signs. I'm not saying Scorpio isn't. They are. They just have a shell. I mean, some would argue Cancers have the shell too, right? But once you break through those shells, they're going to care for you unconditionally. Scorpio the same way. Super loyal sign if you break through. But breaking through is super hard with the Scorpio because we're always suspicious. Just the way we are. Dissect everything. Suspicious. Investigator, everything's suspicious. Just kind of the way it works. But this is just saying, find your passion within the relationship or whatever situation it is, even within yourself. And don't let the confusion of not understanding your role within the situation get you down, right? Because it's that you want to be, you think that everything should be one, and it is one. It really is. But you have an individual experience. That's what the human experience is. It's an individualized experience. So people who have a lot of Neptune or Pisces in their chart can feel like they don't even belong, right? Or it's not that they don't belong. They feel like that it's all supposed to be together, and they're confused why they have to be separate or why they have to have this specific view on things. And it's rough. I mean, I have heavy 12th house, but I don't really have Pisces, and Neptune's extremely weak in my chart. I don't think my Neptune's like almost sitting there alone with no aspects. I think it has like one aspect. It's super weak in my chart. I'm always kind of like, I have a lot of Sagittarius though, so I aim at the target. But anyway, we're going to clarify. So it's screaming that you don't feel seen either in a relationship or in a specific situation, like whether you're trying to be discovered, to be famous, whether it's in a relationship itself. It feels like you don't feel seen. It's because you're having a hard time finding your identity within the collective. But that's what this is all about, right? Got to find the passion to figure that out. I want to see what this. I'll see what this path here with the disappointment, the confusion is. And, that's why moon cards, in general, there's a lot of confusion. Moon and Pisces, or the moon and Neptune are always very closely associated with each other, and Saturn, by the way. But I could get into that too. I have to start explaining karma, then I have to get into Pluto. But I'm not going to do that right now. Eventually, I'll start making astrology videos once I get enough subs. I don't know how long that'll take. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep this up before I get them either. Hopefully I can last until I get at least 1,000 mark. So I feel like I'm actually making progress. And I'll start dropping some astrology knowledge I have. And I have years and years and years. And I have a whole library of books to prove it. I have a stack of them right here behind me. Just to prove I'm not full of shit. These are just ones laying by my desk. That's not even my bookshelves. I have some in my Bronco. I mean, like, they're everywhere because like I went big on astrology to try to learn about myself. But we'll call this a stopping spot because that's where I kind of naturally did it. Okay. Yeah, this looks like you're gonna have to be tough. You get the Queen of Cups here. In this deck, Eight of Cups isn't really walking away. It's indolence. It's feeling stuck. And then Valor. It's very similar to what it is in the Rider Waite, like when he's holding the 7th rod and fighting off the 6 rods, like ready for battle. That's kind of what this is. It's like being valorous. You know what I mean? I feel like that you're feeling stuck in this situation. Like I said, maybe you feel like you're not being seen, and you're putting a lot of your emotions into it, right? This could be you again, Queen of Cups, male or female, but you're trying to do it the right way. Trying to be valorous and honest in the situation, but it doesn't feel like it's presenting itself that way. I think you gotta. I really feel like you gotta find your role in it, like, but only you can figure that out. And over here in this other path, it's saying go within, meditation, things like that. And you know, if you have if you're a Cancer with like some Pisces in your chart, or if you have a strong Neptune, or if Neptune's touching the moon, don't stop right there. This may be really for you, and maybe. You should be really creative with those kind of aspects. With the moon in Neptune, the moon with Neptune in any way, or moon in Pisces, or Neptune in Pisces, man, those are the most creative people you will ever see. Like being able to create stories and images and like writing and like art, you name it. Super artistic. It's because they can connect to that other realm. You know, it's boundless for them. You got to find your role within it. You know what I mean? What was I wanting to look at here? Because the cards wanted to stop. I got to make sure I know I want to look at here. Do we want to look over here at this other path? The other path looks pretty straightforward. What do we want to look at that outcome with that moon? What do we want to look at the heartbreak? Yeah, I want to look at the heartbreak, see what the advice is. Because that card kind of stands out. I've got a couple people there. Got a couple court cards with the 4 of discs. Now, the 4 of discs in this one isn't really about being greedy or anything. It's called power, if you can see. Oh, wrong one. See if I can get it to focus. It's called power. See? Power. Then you have the Princess of Disc and the Queen of Swords. This issue could revolve around money in some way. Like I said, it could be money in the relationship, or you having to grind money. You know what I mean? To feel like you have any power within the relationship or within the world, which you're not wrong about that, because this is even, you know, the power, and this is like, you know, message of money or new money, or seeking money in some way, or passion about money. And you know, this is like the harshness of it, and that might be what it is, right? It's like you're feeling the harshness, the harsh truth of like just having the world the way that it is, having to grind money, and then wanting, and then knowing and feeling that really shouldn't be the way that it is. And believe me, I feel the exact same way. But it is the way of the world. And it's hard to find your identity when you like really just kind of feel against the systems and the way they are, and like how oppressive it is, how little you get to see the ones that you love, or even pursue a new love because you're so busy with work. And like it might be hard to find your place within that, right? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Right there, wants to stop immediately. You know, I'm going straight for the moon. Ooh, I don't like reverses. Okay. The Fool was upside down, but we're going to turn him up. So I was saying a new path. Yeah. So it's like, this is like worrying about money, like worry, but it's just called worry in this deck, right? It's just worry in by itself in this deck. I mean, you could say it's about money, but it's just called worry, right? And it's the 5 of Pentacles, and you could say it's worrying about money. But I think it's just worry in general. You're worried about this. You're worried about the world, the completion of everything, getting what you want. Come on. It's called the universe in this deck, by the way, not the world. Damn it. No. Turd. And you have the Fool, which is like a new journey. It's like you're worried about this new journey. Maybe you have to be on this new journey, right? You're worried about completing this new journey. I think it's finding your place on the journey, finding your place within the world. Worry about not being able to accomplish what you want because you have to grind money or being seen. You don't feel like you're being seen. And therefore you don't feel like you're making enough money. I mean, maybe you're trying to be discovered. Like I said, it could be in a relationship that you don't feel seen. It could be at work that you don't feel seen. That's because you've got to find your identity within it. Because that's what the moon is about. It's about confusion around all of that, not understanding your role in something. And I think that you need to meditate, kind of go inside, really focus, visualize, and I think your identity will come to you, and you'll figure out whatever this new passion is. This new passion, I mean, that's the outcome, is the new passion. Once you get past the confusion, once you get past like over emotionality, because it looks like there's a lot of over emotion up here, and then even this card is an emotional card, right? Even though it's a queen, and you know she's abundant, right? But it's looking like once you can kind of get past that, or at least find your role within your emotions, like to where they're not like overwhelming, because emotions can be overwhelming. I know that well. I'm a Scorpio, heavy Sagittarius, but I'm a Scorpio too. And you'll find this new passion, right? And it's gonna and I think you're gonna end up getting what you want. You're gonna get seen, or you're gonna find that new love. You're gonna find your role within something, and it's gonna feel good. See what the overall energy is. Just kind of tie it all together. Hopefully, it makes sense to what we're looking at here. What I've been talking about. Yeah, now. What's that overall energy? That card looked like it wanted to come. A fiery climax approaches. Ooh. Full moon in Aries. A fiery climax approaches. Well, whatever it is, it's about to come to an end. And I think that's where this new journey's coming in. Right? And if it's emotional, it could definitely be a fiery climax. No doubt about that. Yeah, I think you just got to find your role. Be like an Aries, you know what I mean? Aries always know their role, and if they don't, they force it. Not that you should do that. I think the going inside is the way, you know, and trying to figure out what your role is in something. Then once you kind of understand what your role is, you know, play that role. Understand what the boundaries are and what you should be doing within it. Even if the world, you know, just feels like you don't belong, or the systems of the world don't feel right, and the world has been really rough lately in the way it's presented to us and the things that are going on. You can still have this. You know, it's coming. You just have to balance the emotional aspects of things, or balance the disappointment. Go within and be ready and face the challenges. Show the universe that you're ready for exactly what you want. And then you're going to have your new path, and it's going to be a passionate path, something you actually care about. And over here it's saying that maybe it's a new love, right? Maybe you should socialize, get into a social situation. And it could be that, you know, you're so focused on money over here. It's like it breaks your heart that you have to be, like keeping you away from home, that kind of thing. Or maybe you just don't even like the financial systems of the world, the way things are. That you'd rather it just be like spending time with the people you love, and, you know, your cup overfloweth. But you just need to do a little work. You need to just prove that you're ready for whatever this is that you want, whatever this being seen is, whether it's through fame, whether it's just with an individual, whether it's with a group, whether it's with your family. I think you're going to have it. Just understand your role within it, because it can be easy to lose ourselves in a role when we care about something so much or love somebody so much. We just give, you know, and we lose ourselves within it, and we don't understand. We don't put up the boundaries that maybe we should. Okay, Cancer, for what it's worth, I'm grateful that you're here, and I hope to see you back. Please consider liking and subscribing, leaving a comment, those kind of things. I'm trying to build the channel so I can start doing some more astrology stuff. I'm far away from the 1,000. I'm in the 50s, I think. But either way, I'm grateful for everyone that has subscribed. And if you don't feel like subscribing, I understand. That's okay. I'm just going to keep trucking along until I get there, or until I can't handle it no more. Either way, Cancer, thank you for being here, and happy August.